Esther chapter 8. On that day, sovereign Ahasuerus gave to sovereigness Esther the house of Haman, the adversary of the Yudim. And Mordecai came before the sovereign, for Esther had explained what he was to her. And the sovereign took off his signet ring, which he had taken from Haman, and gave it to Mordecai. And Esther appointed Mordecai over the house of Haman. And Esther spoke to the sovereign again, and fell down at his feet, and begged him with tears to put an end to the evil of Haman the Agagite, and his plot to which he had plotted against the Yehudim. And the sovereign held out the golden scepter toward Esther, and Esther arose and stood before the sovereign, and said, If it pleases the sovereign, and if I have found favor in his sight, and the matter is right before the sovereign, and I am pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to bring back the letters, the plot of Haman, son of Hammedatha the Agagite, which he wrote to destroy the Yehudim, who are in all the sovereign's provinces. For how could I bear to see the evil coming to my people, or how could I bear to see the destruction of my relatives? And sovereign Ahasuerus said to sovereigness Esther and Mordecai the Yehudi, Look, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and they have hanged him on the wooden structure because he laid his hand on the Yehudim. Now you write on behalf of the Yehudim, as it pleases you, in the sovereign's name, and seal it with the sovereign's signet ring. For a letter which is written in the sovereign's name and sealed with the sovereign's signet ring, no one turns back. So the sovereign scribes were called at that time, in the third new moon, which is the new moon of Siwan, on the 23rd day. And it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded to the Yehudim, and to the viceroys, and to the governors, and the princes of the provinces from India to Cush, 127 provinces, to every province in its own writing, to every people in their own language, and to the Yehudim in their own writing and in their own language. And he wrote in the name of sovereign Ahasuerus, and sealed it with the sovereign's signet ring, and sent letters by runners on horseback, riding on royal horses bred from speedy mares, that the sovereign has granted to the Yehudim, who were in every city, to be assembled and stand for their lives, to cut off, to kill, and to destroy all the power of the people or province that would distress them, little children and women, and to plunder their possessions, on one day in all the provinces of sovereign Ahasuerus, on the 13th day of the 12th new moon, which is the new moon of Adar. The copy of the writing to be made law in every province was announced to all the peoples, so that the Yehudim would be ready on that day to be avenged on their enemies. The runners, riding on royal horses, went out, hastened, and pressed on by the sovereign's command, and the decree was given out in the citadel of Shushan. And Mordecai went out from the presence of the sovereign, wearing royal garments of blue and white, with a great crown of gold, and a garment of fine linen and purple. And the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad, for the Yehudim there was light, and gladness, and joy, and value. And in every province and in every city where the sovereign's command and decree came, the Yehudim had joy and gladness, and a feast and a good day, and many of the people of the land were becoming Yehudim, for the fear of the Yehudim had fallen upon them.